Hello everyone, I am Maneesh Srivastava, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Juridical Sciences, Rama University, Kanpur. Today I am going to tell about the essentials of a valid Hindu marriage. Under traditional Hindu law, marriage was treated as a sacred and permanent union essential for the performance of religious duties and continuation of lineage. However, with social reforms and codification of Hindu law, marriage has been regulated by the statute. Now, this regulation has been made by the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, which lays down the specific legal requirement that must be satisfied for the marriage to be recognized as the valid in the eyes of law. Now, what is the concept of Hindu marriage? Historically, Hindu marriage was viewed as a sacrament, meaning a holy union rather than a contract. It was considered indissoluble and eternal, and even extending beyond one lifetime. Now, the modern Hindu law, however, reflects a balanced approach. While retaining the sacrament nature, it also contains some contractual elements such as free consent, mental capacities, and statutory condition. Thus, the Hindu marriage today is the best demonstration and as described as a sacrament as well as the contractual featured regulated by the law. Now, what are the statutory provisions that are made to validate a Hindu marriage? The core provision governing the validity of a Hindu marriage is Section 5 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. So, before this act, we used to have several Smritis and Vedas through which our marriage has been regulated. But after this, in India, Hindu Marriage Act 1955 has been codified and the Hindu marriage is regulated. Section 5 of the Act states that a marriage may be solemnized between two Hindus only if the conditions mentioned in the section are fulfilled. Now, Section 5 provides some condition through which we can say that if those conditions are fulfilled, then only a Hindu marriage can be solemnized. This clearly indicates that the compliance of Section 5 is mandatory. If any essential condition is violated, the marriage may be declared void or voidable, depending upon the nature of the violation. Now, what are the essential of a valid marriage? There are basically 5 essential of a valid marriage. First, monogamy. Second, mental capacity. Third, age of marriage. Fourth, no marriage between prohibited relationship. And fifth, no marriage between Sapinda relationship. Further, we will move on and elaborate these points. First condition of the Hindu marriage is monogamy. According to Section 5, Subclause 1, neither party should be having a spouse living at the time of marriage. Under ancient law, polygamy was permitted, but after the codification of this law, Hindu Marriage Act, the polygamy is abolished and introduced monogamy as a compulsory rule. If a person contracts a second marriage during his lifetime of their spouse, then the second marriage is void, and the person who who have made the second marriage is also punishable under Section 17 of this Act. Now, second condition is the mental capacity. Marriage requires free and informed consent. According to Section 5, Subclause 2 of the Act, it provides that neither party should be incapable of giving valid consent due to the unsoundness of mind. If the person is suffering from any mental disorder, making them unfit for the marriage and procreation of children, or subject to the recurrent attack of insanity, the consent in the marriage must be free. Now, the third point talks about the age of the marriage. Section 5, Subclause 3 talks about the age of the marriage, which states that the groom must have completed 21 years of the age and the bride must have completed 18 years of the age. The purpose of prescribing minimum age is to prevent child marriages, ensure physical and mental maturity, and promote healthy family life. And a marriage, if solemnized in violation of the condition, is not void but voidable at the option of the minor party, and such marriages are also punishable. The marriage made out of this condition is never said void, but it is voidable but it is punishable. Now, the fourth condition is for the prohibited degree of relationship. The party should not be within the degree of prohibited relationship. Prohibited degree of relationship has been defined under section 3 subclause G of Hindu Marriage Act, which says that prohibited relationship are which includes the close blood relations such as parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, brother and sisters, uncle and niece, aunt and nephew. So, however, as the Hindu law recognizes the importance of the customs, if a valid and a long-standing custom permits such a marriage, it will be legally valid. So, actually, the prohibited degree of relationship means the direct relation of blood in which we cannot marry with each other. But if any custom relating to the same permits, it can go through it. Now the fifth point is Sapinda relationship. The fifth essential condition relates to the Sapinda relationship, and it is defined under section 3 subclause F of the Act. It says that two persons are Sapinda if they are related within 5 generations of on the father's side and 3 generations on the mother's side. If any of the lineage is connected within 5 generations on the father's side and 3 generations on the mother's side, then it is said to be in Sapinda relationship, and the marriage among these are prohibited. The marriage between the Sapinda is prohibited because such relationship are considered too close for the marriage. ठीक है. Once again, an exception is provided that if a custom or a usage provided, then parties are allowed for such marriage. There is another essential which is beyond section 5. In addition to the condition of section 5, a Hindu marriage must be solemnized according to section 7 of the Act. Section 7 basically provides the ceremonies of the marriage. Section 7 states that the marriage should be performed according to the ceremonies of either of the party. Customs, rites. One of the most commonly recognized ceremonies is Saptapadi, which involves taking 7 steps around the sacred fire. The law clearly states that the marriage becomes completed and binding upon the completion of the 7th step. As we come to the conclusion, to conclude, the essential of the valid Hindu marriage are clearly laid down under sections 5 and also under section 7 of the Hindu Marriage Act. These provisions strike a balance between a tradition and a modern legal principle. They ensure fairness, protect individual rights and maintain social order. Okay, now this ends the topic of essential of valid Hindu marriage, and we will come again for another topic. Now, thank you.